Growing a carnivore, or even a herbivore, is hard if you don't know what you're doing. So, that's why I'm here. This is a basic guide for both sides. We'll start off with the herbivores, since they're the easier of the two. You're gonna want to sniff and check for a sanctuary. They're the icons with the palm trees. Only juveniles can enter them safely, so you won't have to worry about adult dinosaurs camping inside. Sanctuaries provide easy and safe food for juvie herbivores, giving all three diets when consumed. But, before you eat, make sure you drain your food first through gastroliths. More stomach space means more food intake, which means more diet intake. Diet is what helps you grow, and keeps your animal healthy throughout its entire lifetime. Hold E and you'll begin foraging for gastroliths. These lower your food, I think, 22% faster, more or less. The effect lasts about a minute, so forage them for once a minute until your food is low. Now that your food is low, you can go and eat all the mushrooms you can find. Sanctuary mushrooms give all three diets to both herbivores and omnivores, so it's the perfect thing to grow with. Now, just do that again. Get your gastroliths every minute or so until your food is low. Remember, the lower your food is, the more room you have diets. And you won't always be in the sanctuary, so you have to maximize the amount of mushrooms that you can intake. Rinse and repeat until you're kicked from the sanctuary. You'll know you're kicked when the mushrooms aren't in your diet list anymore and the bees start attacking you. They'll make this rattling, hissing sound, but in this case they didn't detect me yet, so they didn't start attacking me. So, now that you're a big back, you'll have to seek out patrol zones or migration zones. These areas spawn around the map and you'll be able to find them with sniffing. Migration zones tend to have more food than patrol zones, but either will work for younger or solo herbivores. Note, at the time of recording, migrations don't work on Meta's server for whatever reason. The patrol zones are the ones with the eye icons, and migration zones are the ones with the feet icons. You'll know what I mean when you see it. Now, you're at the part where you'll have to, start managing your diets. So make sure you eat wisely. As a young herbivore, you should focus on eating the smaller plants a little more. That allows you to build a reserve of that diet until you're too big to gain anything meaningful from them. So, on a small scale, for example, I tend to take one piece from each big diet plant, and 2 pieces of the smaller diet plants. Obviously, this will scale up if you have more room to continue eating, but you get it. Make sure you visit multiple different areas to ensure that you keep a perfect diet. If you manage it right, and you travel around the map, you should be sitting at around 250 growth bonus. Maybe more, maybe a little less, but I had, personally, about 280. Now that you're an adult, you can pretty much use the same strategy to sustain yourself, but now you actually have to survive against other adult creatures. You should always be aware and always be prepared, otherwise you could be ambushed. If you are caught unaware, don't panic. Keep calm and respond as needed. Remember, your goal as a herbivore isn't to get kills. It's to survive, so don't risk chasing a predator down if you don't have to. Your sense of hearing is so much more important than your eyesight. Always keep your ears open. Sound will alert you way faster than your sight will. Tracking footstep sounds are a great way of defending yourself when there's a poor line of sight. pouncers can be pretty annoying to fight for those who are inexperienced, so try your best to dodge them or to get them off as quickly as you can. Terrain can knock off pouncers, things like trees, rocks, walls, etc. If a carnivore makes a dumb choice, don't be afraid to punish them if they kill themselves on you. One last thing of note, you won't be able to defend yourself from every single threat. Remember that running away is just as viable as an option, and some creatures are actually completely designed around running away. So, keep that in mind. Your life as a carnivore is going to be a lot harder than a herbivore. I mean, after all, your food moves around. It's not guaranteed like herbivores. So, this is how you're going to find AI early in life. You're going to want to listen in as best as you can. The AI are actually really loud, so you shouldn't have too much trouble if you listen close. Heard that? That's what a deer sounds like, and they're S diet for many carnivores. If you do happen across some gastroliths, make sure you take them. Remember, more stomach room means more room for diets, so you'll grow faster. Even as a carnivore, sound is still one of the most important senses in this game. It'll help you detect food or threats so much sooner than your eyes can. Trust me. Think wisely. Slow down sometimes. If you rush things, that could very easily cost you your life by accidentally falling off a cliff or running into the Thagomizer of a stego. Tracking is a carnivore exclusive feature. Once you find tracks, or blood, press your scent button and that'll begin tracking. You'll know it works when they go from blue to white, and blood will slightly darken a little. You have to be hot on their trail though. The tracks do despawn very quickly, although the blood stays around for a little bit longer. The darker it is, the easier it will be to track actually, since you can see the tracks through walls and, terrain or whatever, and the blue glow is easier to see at night, so if you're tracking at night, turning off your night vision can help. Keep in mind the amount of footprints that your target leaves behind is, I think, dependent on their movement state. Whether they're running or trotting determines how often they leave behind tracks. Though, if they are bleeding, the blood particles will be consistent no matter their movement state. So that can be easier to track. It depends on the situation. Yeah, some AI actually do fight back, and the hardest hitting ones are boar and sometimes deer, although I didn't get hit with the hard hitting attack with the deer. And, well, there you go. There's your first meal. Congratulations. If you're seeking for just simple and safe growth, then you can just sit by the body and eat until it's gone. But if you do want to grow faster, you're gonna need to get more gastroliths. If you're gonna go the faster growth route, make sure you take a meat chunk and drop it next to the body. That way you can sniff it before the body becomes sensible. Because during the first few minutes, you won't be able to smell the body. That's just to ensure that fresh spawns don't immediately get their food stolen, like in this case. If you don't know where the gastrolith locations are, you can generally find them near places with rocky ground. If you look around a little bit, then you should be able to see the prompt with grazing for gastroliths thing. Rinse and repeat until this body is gone, similar to what the herbivore did, except this time it's just with a dead body. You'll see the fruits of this strategy a little later in life. Alright, now that you finished eating that entire deer you picked back, now it's time to look for a different diet source. So since I ate a deer, I'm gonna try and look for a boar now. And the two diets will help me grow faster together, and that's why you wanted to get gastroliths to drain your stomach, so you had enough room to get boars as well. Keep in mind that your other diet will also go down, so you have to cycle between the food items that you eat for faster growth. Something similar to how the herbivore managed his diet later in life. So, again, constantly intake gastroliths. Naturally, you'll have to compete with other members of your species, or even rival species, for the food. So if something bigger comes along, you're gonna have to skedaddle. Hey, look at you, you're fully grown now. But AI can't sustain you forever, at least for most carnivore species. So you're gonna have to start hunting players to survive the bigger you get. Mind the terrain wherever you are. It can make or break a hunt. Listen for players that you're interested in hunting. Keep a low profile and stay quiet. Know your limits. You cannot hunt everything. Watch how players act and move. Their body language will tell you if they're prey or if they're too dangerous. Always try and size up what you want to try and hunt. Weigh the risk versus the reward. Is it worth it to start this fight? Is it worth it to continue this fight? But y'all know me when the music comes on. Do an IQ test and do it within your ability. Test to see if they're experienced or inexperienced. Players who spam aren't experienced and are easy prey most of the time. Every fight is different. They all depend on players' skill and experience. The more hurt your prey is, the weaker they'll get. They'll do less damage, but don't let that be a reason to get sloppy. Even weakened prey can still be extremely dangerous. Always remember, herbivores love to push carnivores around. Sometimes you'll just go hungry because they say so. Sometimes hunts aren't up to you. They turn into fights, and it's your choice to fight or flee. Go whatever option you're comfortable with, but I know what I'm gonna do. Never rush into a fight. You'll lose focus and you'll trip over yourself. Lag is going to happen. Be prepared to take whatever the game throws at you. You will inevitably end up making a mistake. Make sure you know what you're doing before you get yourself into a mess. Never be indecisive in hunts, or fights for that matter. That will lead to split choices and you will be punished severely for it. A good fight will always have the perfect mix of aggression and patience, though the balance will be different for any fight. Sometimes it won't feel like you're hitting your opponent. They won't make a pain sound, but that's just a bug that the game has. If it's a clean hit, then more likely than not, you actually did do damage. Pressing random buttons mid-fight, you're probably doing something right. If you really do think you are going to die, then just call the fight. It's not worth your life. Though if you are bloodlusted, make sure you're ready to deal with the consequences if you fail. Most herbivores get themselves killed because of their own aggression. Keep this in mind. Keep in mind, you don't have to go alone. Playing with a friend can make the game easier and more fun. Teamwork will always be one of your best tools no matter what situation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, then have a good one.